Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us as we come together to honor and celebrate Veterans Day. Today, we pause to recognize the courage, commitment, and sacrifice of the men and women who have served in our nation's armed forces. Veterans are all around us. They may be our neighbors, friends, relatives, and even the parents or grandparents of the students here today. At St. John's School, we believe it's important to take time to reflect on the gift of freedom we enjoy and to appreciate those who have worked so hard to protect it. This morning, we'll listen to stories, learn from our students, and offer our heartfelt gratitude to those who have served. Let's open our hearts and minds as we honor these heroes and give thanks for their service to our country. Thank you for being here, and let's begin our program. Please be seated for the 1st through 8th musical selections.
Sometimes I think about America, about her struggles through the years. I think of people who did what they had to do with the strength to act through their fears. Sometimes I think about America, about her future and her past. I know I'm blessed to be living in liberty in a land where freedom will last. Sometimes I think about America, about her people's legacy. I wonder if they knew that what they had to do would be known throughout history. Sometimes I think about America, about her pain along the way. I know it had to be for our
Today, we are excited to recognize some of the outstanding young writers from St. John's Middle School who participated in this year's Patriots Pen Essay Contest. This year's theme was How Do I Show Patriotism and Support for My Country? We were proud to see so many thoughtful responses from our middle school writers. After reading their essays, our teachers, together with our veteran judges, selected the top 4 entries for special recognition. Please join me in congratulating our top 4 essayists in order: Allie Mae Martin, Jacob Haferman, Claire Brynell, and Isla Conway. Today, you'll hear from student essays from Allie Mae Martin and Jacob Haferman, and we're grateful for their courage in sharing their voices. Let's give them a warm round of applause as we celebrate their hard work and thoughtful ideas. Allie Mae and Jacob.
How are you showing patriotism and support for our country? There are many different ways to show support for our country, such as voting, wearing red, white, and blue, and participating in local events, and so many more. To me, showing support means waving a flag and wearing red, white, and blue, but it's really so much more than that. As James Bryce once said, patriotism consists not in waving the flag, but in striving that our country shall be righteous as well as strong. While I like wearing red, white, and blue, celebrating national holidays, and singing the Star-Spangled Banner to show support for our country, sometimes I feel like being more patriotic. But what can I do to be more patriotic? Well, for starters, I can defend what I believe in, like the fundamental truths this country was founded on. Sometimes I think about America's struggles in the past, and honoring those who struggled to make America what it is today is also very important. To honor those who have fallen and those who continue to serve this country, I can pray for them and their families. Voting is also an important way to show patriotism. Voting for people who value our country's fundamental truths is very important, because that is what keeps our country strong. If a country doesn't have a strong government, then the country will fall apart. Voting is also a way to fight for a country, so that there will be no injustice within it. As George Orwell once said, "True patriotism hates injustice in its own land more than anywhere else." True patriotism is doing an act that comes from the heart. Nonetheless, no matter how you support our country, remember that any way and every way you support our country is important. For without the support of the whole nation, we wouldn't be able to do anything to help this country be righteous and strong.
How I show patriotism and support for my country. Patriotism is the love of one's country. We show patriotism for our country in many ways, such as saying the Pledge of Allegiance as a class or supporting those who cannot support themselves or their family. We can also show patriotism by raising the flag with respect and reverence. We demonstrate patriotism as citizens in our school, community, and above all, our country. We show patriotism by saying the Pledge of Allegiance. The Pledge of Allegiance is significant as it states what we value and believe as a nation. The pledge is said at the start of every school day, as it reminds us that we have many blessings, including our freedom. We stand united under one God through words and actions. As citizens of our great nation, we should be honored to say the Pledge of Allegiance. Support means helping others financially or through acts of kindness. We as citizens should support others through donations of food and everyday essentials. Through donations to charities, we are supporting others and showing support for the country. One can also give time and talent to their community or church. Through compassion and love, we support our fellow Americans. The flag represents our nation and the people who sacrificed their lives to keep our country free. We as Americans should be reminded of our nation's history and the victories and sacrifices the country had. It must always be handled with dignity and respect. The flag will always fly for our nation's freedom. One can show patriotism and support for their country by reciting the Pledge of Allegiance, donating goods or money to individuals in need, and raising the flag with dignity and respect. As Americans, we must all work together to keep this great nation strong.
Thank you again to our Patriot Pen essay readers, Allie Mae and Jacob, for sharing their thoughtful reflections and inspiring words with us today. Your ideas remind us that patriotism can be shown through kindness, respect, and service every day. Now we're excited to hear from our youngest learners, our 3K, 4K, and 5K preschool students who will share their own special way of showing patriotism through song. Their musical selections are sure to bring smiles to our faces and remind us that love for our country begins at an early age. Please enjoy their performance. Next, we are excited to hear from 3 of our students who will share their love for our country through patriotic poems. Please welcome Drew Murkowski, Logan Jacobs, and Sam Mills as they express their pride and support for our nation with their thoughtful and inspiring words. Gentlemen, please come forward.
The title of my acrostic poem is Patriotic. P is for people, the people that have built the foundations of our America. A is for America, the country that we live in and fight for. T is for togetherness, the way that we all stick together through thick and thin. R is for remembrance, for it is important that we remember the people that gave their lives for our country. I is for intelligence, for America wouldn't be the same without the intelligence of the people who founded it. O is for Old Glory, the flag that represents our country. T is for truth, the truth that this country is founded on. I is for iconic, for no country will ever be like ours. C is for country, the country of America.
The title of my acrostic poem is Country. C stands for calm, quiet, and peaceful sights. O stands for our own country to protect with our lives. U stands for unending beauty is the greatest sight. N stands for now we have our freedom to protect. T stands for this land we love is the land of the free. R stands for red, white, and blue are the colors we see. Y stands for you will find your place eventually.
The title of my Sin Quain poem is Bald Eagle. Bald eagle, talons so sharp, flying, hunting, watching, the mascot of America, honor.
As we come to the end of our program, I want to take a moment to thank everyone who joined us today. We are especially grateful to Mrs. Jane Bergs, our 1st through 8th grade music teacher, and Sarah Farber and Jenna Martin, our pre-K music teachers, for putting this program together, and to all the teachers who helped our students write, practice, prepare music, speeches, and poems. I also want to thank all of our students for their wonderful performances and presentations. You have done a beautiful job showing your patriotism and honoring our veterans. We want to give a special recognition to the honored veterans of VFW Post 10187 and American Legion Post 393. Your presence here reminds us of the true meaning of courage, dedication, and sacrifice. And we hope that today's program has helped all of us, especially our students, gain a deeper appreciation for your service. To all veterans here and those not able to join us today, thank you for your bravery, commitment, and everything you have done to protect our freedoms and keep us safe. As we reflect on this year's theme, How I Show Patriotism for Our Country, let us remember that patriotism can be expressed in many ways: through respect for those who serve, appreciation for the freedoms we enjoy, and by taking responsibility to contribute positively to our communities. The veterans will now share a special presentation on their experiences around the world and answer any questions students may have. All are welcome to stay if you'd like. After, as we wrap up and return to our classrooms and day, let's keep in our thoughts and prayers both past and present veterans, remembering their sacrifices and service. May we honor them not only on Veterans Day, but every day. Thank you for being here. May God bless you, and have a wonderful Veterans Day.
Good morning, everyone. I'm not sure if we can top that performance or not, but we'll do our part, I guess, and get things started here. My name is Dale Delkey. I'm a retired Navy Chief Petty Officer, served 28 years in the United States Naval Reserve. I'll be your host, I guess, here today. First of all, I'd like to thank the students, the teachers, the staff for a wonderful program again this year. Mrs. Berg for the musical, and Mrs. Helverson for the planning, and all the teachers that worked with the kids this year. Great program again this year. We really appreciate it. At this time, we will have the veterans stand up and introduce themselves from the Legion Post and from the VFW.
Morning. My name is Dennis Dalkey, obviously Dale's brother. I served 29 years total service, 4 years active duty, and almost another 25 in the National Guard.
Good morning. Robert Franz served the United States Navy Submarine Service through the late 60s.
Robert Lake, I served in the Army from 1960 to 63, and I was spent 3.5 months up at Tule Greenwood.
Marshall Jacobs, I spent mid-90s in the Army. I was stationed in Fort Benning, Georgia, the whole time that I was in the Army.
I'm Elliot Mishka. I spent the last 6 years in the United States Marine Corps and just retired in July.
I am the terrific Tammy Kirsch, and I was in the Air Force, 4 years active, and 1 in the reserves in Texas. The whole time, loved it.
Good morning, everyone. Randall Mishka. So I served in the Army for 40 years, and I just retired in 2023.
Benedict Mishka, served in the Army for 61 to 64, and retired after that.
Ken Knecht, served in the United States Army from 1960 to 1963 in the Corps of Engineers.
Corporal Lemmer, I served from 61 to 65, and I was in the grunts all over the world.
Rick Schrader, I served from 1965 to 67 in Korea and the United States.
My name is Dennis Alverson. I served in the Army 1966 to 1968, 67 and 68 over Vietnam.
Good morning, Emery Stanky. Served from 65 to 69 aboard the USS Hancock and the USS Kitty Hawk in Vietnam.
Good morning, my name is Ray Dulkey. I did 6 years in the United States Marine Corps.
Good morning. My name is Steve Brinkman. I served the United States Marine Corps from 1974 to 1978. And for 2.5 years, I was a Marine security guard. I served at the American Embassy in Bamako, Mali, West Africa for 1.5 years, and 1 year in Geneva, Switzerland at the United States SALT talks and the U.S. mission in Geneva.
Jim Sonnenthal, United States Marine Corps. I served 4 years on Camp Pendleton.
Michael Hipsch, U.S. Army. I served in Southeast Asia, Vietnam in 69, 70.
Good morning. I'm Carol Torberg, and I served in the U.S. Navy for 20 years in Hawaii, Maryland, California, and England.
Morning. Tom Naparella, served in the Army in Vietnam, and they sent me home 56 years ago today.
Thank you, everyone. I'd like to also recognize any of the veterans that we have in the audience today. Please stand or raise your hand. Thank you for your service. Okay, first of all, like normal, we start out with a little history lesson. So the students thought they were just here for songs and stuff like that, but we got some history and geography lessons for you guys today. So first of all, does anybody know what Armistice Day is? Well, I'm going to read you a little bit of history. I'm going to shorten it up because of time here, but basically there was a war called World War I. It was fought from July 1914 to November 11th, 1918. And at that time it was called the Great War because it was the biggest war that the world had ever seen. It happened in Europe. There was two coalitions, the Allies and the Central Powers. And the war was fought in Europe, the Middle East, Africa, and the Asian Pacific. The causes included the rise of the German Empire and the decline of the Ottoman Empire, and a disturbing long-standing balance of power in Europe. And then there was an assassination in 1914, which triggered the war to start in Europe. The United States got involved in a war in April of 1917. At that time, our army wasn't very big and our service wasn't very big because we hadn't had a war for a number of years. So it took a little bit to get things going for the United States. And the reason that the United States joined is because the Germans were sinking ships going back and forth across the Atlantic. They had submarines they called U-boats, and they sunk a number of ships, and they sunk a passenger ship called the Lusitania. And the president at that time got involved with the war, and we started fighting in Europe alongside of the French and the English and the Allies. So the fighting continued on until an armistice was drawn. An armistice is a stop shooting, basically. And that happened on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month in 1918. So November 11th, 1918 is when the shooting actually stopped. And a couple years later, they had a peace conference in Paris. And in 1919, President Wilson made November 11th Armistice Day officially. So in November 1919, President Wilson proclaimed November 11th as the first commemoration of Armistice Day with the following words: "To us in America, the reflections of Armistice Day will be filled with solemn pride in the heroism of those who died in the country's service and with gratitude for the victory, both because of the thing from which it had freed us and because of the opportunity it had given America to show her sympathy with peace and justice in the Council of Nations." The original concept for the celebration was for a day observed with parades and public meetings and a brief suspension of business beginning at 11 a.m. The United States Congress officially recognized the end of the war when it passed a concurrent resolution on June 4th, 1926. And it stayed as Armistice Day until the 1938, and stayed as Armistice Day till 1950s because World War II had happened, and in order to thank those veterans that served in World War II and in Korea, the word armistice was changed to Veterans Day. So, and then later on, they tried in the late 60s, they tried to move Veterans Day to a Monday in the month to get a 3-day weekend. And that didn't work out very well because people got confused on what day Veterans Day was. So then in the early 70s, or 1975 actually, they changed it back to November 11th and kept it on November 11th. So that is how Armistice Day turned into Veterans Day. So part of today's program, what we've got, I need 2 scrapping young men here, volunteers. Okay, I'll be the draft board like last year. You and you. There's 2 big globes in the back of the church. There's a character in Greek mythology called Atlas, and he carried the world on his shoulders. So each one of you boys go grab a globe and bring it up to the front here, please. So part of our geography lesson, now we got part of our history lesson out of the way. So part of our geography lesson is we're going to have some of the veterans come on up and tell us where in the world they went. So I need some help from the student body because some of these guys are just waking up. Some of them can't hear so good. So when I say their name, I need you to shout out, where in the world did you go? So let's practice. Mr. Jones? Oh, I think you guys got to wake up yet. Let's try this again. Mr. Jones? All right, that's a little better. So let's bring the boys up with the globes over here. Let's one can stay in the aisle and one up front here. So for our first one, Mr. Mishka.
Good morning. So, in my service for the Army, I started out, of course, in Wisconsin, and led me to a number of different forts and trainings: Texas, Georgia, Maine, Washington State, and then Nebraska as well, Minnesota. So, a number of places in the states. So, let's do that. Wisconsin served there, out in Maine, in Georgia, did a little time in Alabama, in Texas, in San Antonio, very hot, in Washington State at Fort Lewis. So I think that's about it. But then, I was lucky enough to get selected on a mission that took me overseas in 1987. Some of your parents may not have been alive then. So if you turn the globe and we get to Germany, I was involved in what was called Reforger in Germany in 1987. So that's, we were in, oh, there you go. That's better. I know we went to Munich, so north of Nuremberg in there. And also, I want to say that there was a time where I was on the Autobahn. Autobahn is kind of like the freeway in Germany. And I'm like, I think I'm on Highway 64 going to Merrill. It really reminded me of Wisconsin, and I thought, no wonder all the German people settled here because it looked like home. Okay, so then fast forward, I went to the Middle East. I was selected on flew from Wisconsin all the way down to Texas, from Texas all the way across the United States, and then landed in a little bitty spot called Kuwait, right there. Right there. So then from Kuwait, that was our base of missions. And from there, we went to Jordan. I went to Jordan a couple times. But one thing to remember is they didn't want us to we were going to go to Central Asia. They didn't want us to fly over Iran because Iran's not a friendly place. So what we would do is from Kuwait, we would fly to Jordan, or we would fly a little further north to Istanbul, Constantinople. So we would be Constantinople, Turkey. So Istanbul must be on this side here somewhere. And then we would fly across, and that's about a 4.5, 5-hour trip to Central Asia. One of those places is kind of fun to say. So if anybody asks you today, the capital of Tajikistan, we got to go this way a little bit. Tajikistan. So a country called Tajikistan, kind of a wild name, Tajikistan. If anybody asks you the capital of Tajikistan, you will say it with me, Dushanbe. Right up in here, Dushanbe. Say that. Dushanbe. Excellent. Great job. Great job. So Dushanbe. So there are 7 stands. So we've got Tajikistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, and Afghanistan. I'd say Pakistan also. If I catch them all, that's 7. That's 7. So I went to Tajikistan, went to further north, Dale. I did not, we had a mission that went to Uzbekistan. It was not part of that mission, but I was further north, right here, that's KYR. That stands for Kyrgyzstan. And Kyrgyzstan's kind of cool because they have a game called, I don't even know what the name of the game is called, but it involved horses and a goat. And it's a goat carcass, and it's like soccer, polo, and football all in one. But that's on horses. It's really kind of wild to see. So you see the Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, and then north of there is a country called Kazakhstan. So Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, it can really get confusing. Sometimes we didn't know if we were coming or going. And then in addition to that, you can see how close that is to China. One of the places we went to was on the Old Silk Road. And there was this tower. The tower is like a silo. You know, the silos that you see out in the country, the farm silos. It was a tower. It originally was about 100 feet high, and there was an earthquake, and a lot of that tower fell down. From that tower, it was 12 miles to the border of China. So very, very close. That's about as close as I want to get to China, I think. And I think that from there, on the way back home, we go back to Kuwait, and then from there, back to Germany, and from there back to the United States, stopped at Bangor, from there back to Fort Hood, and Fort Hood in reverse. We made it back to Wisconsin after that. So left in spring of 2014, arrived back home January 22nd of 2015. You never forget the day you come home. So it's kind of a special day for us today, Mrs. Mishka and myself, because our daughter, who is also a soldier, girls can be soldiers, she's headed home today. So it's kind of a special day for us to have her come home. She'll be flying into the airport later on this afternoon. So a great day for us. Talk about celebrating a Veterans Day. So thank you.
Thank you, Mishka. So real quick, we got to have a quiz. I need somebody to find Germany on the globe. Yeah, you. Go ahead, find Germany on the globe. Whichever one you want to pick. So, somebody to find Turkmenistan. How far around the world is that from where we're at? About a third of the way around the world, isn't it? About Turkmenistan, volunteer, you young lady. My microphone's dying here too. I need a volunteer. Navy, never again volunteer yourself. That's what it stands for, so. Okay, Turkmenistan. I'll make it easier. Afghanistan and Pakistan. Then you're in the neighborhood. How far around the world is that from the United States? About halfway around the world, ain't it? All right, there you go. All right, I need a volunteer. Dennis, you want to come on up for Vietnam?
In the United States, I served in 1 year down in Fort Hood, Texas. And in August of '67, I was shipped over to South Vietnam. And I served right around Saigon, down Long Bend, Ben Wire, and then around Saigon. Then we usually stayed around 20 or 30 miles outside of Saigon. Then a couple times we went up to Tainan. We were alongside the Cambodian border up in there. I was on military personnel carriers. That's a vehicle that was on tracks. It's a little bit smaller than a tank. And there's four men on that crew, plus we had 5 on our crew. We had mainly stationed around Saigon. I was affiliated with the 199th Light Infantry. Wherever the 199th Light Infantry went, any questions? If I can answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. All right, we got our quiz again. I need 2 volunteers. You young man and you young lady. Need you to find Vietnam on the globe. You've seen it on a flat map, now we gotta find it on the globe. Got Atlas is here just spinning a globe for you right now, so we'll find it. Okay, this young man's got it up here. It's right below China, basically, above Indonesia. Hint, hint. Found it? All right, very good. All right, for sake of time, we're going to do one more. Thank you, students. I'm going to do Afghanistan real quick. I was stationed in Afghanistan from November 2010 to October 2011. I was based at Kandahar Airfield. I was actually working for the United States Air Force at that time at Kandahar Airfield. At that time, the base had 30,000 people on it, and 22,000 were military personnel. We were part of Obama's 100,000 troop ramp up in Afghanistan. So it was a pretty busy place at that time, and we actually worked with Afghan Air Force personnel, training them on just different job duties for communications, fuels, security forces, just about anything. Firefighting, we had a brand new Oshkosh fire truck sitting on the flight line there. So we were based right off the flight line, so we had everything in the air at any time. We had fighter jets, we had cargo jets, we had helicopters, drones, everything. So I was there, like I said, for just about a year. For sake of time, I've got pictures, but some other day, but I was in Kandahar, and I did fly to Kabul and Bagram. We had a bad incident where we had 9 people got shot, so I flew to Kabul and then up to Bagram Airfield for the ramp ceremony. So we loaded 9 caskets on a C-17 at 11:30 at night for their last ride home. So that was kind of a bad day, but yeah, I had a year in country. Got home for R&R in June. Coming from sand and dirt, all of a sudden you come back in Wisconsin in June and it's green and it's just lush and sunshine, and it was kind of nice. But then back at it again for another 6 months or whatever it was. So that was in Afghanistan for myself. So at this time, we're going to do some question and answer session for the students. We got about 5 minutes here. So if any students have any questions, go ahead and bring them on up. Don't be bashful. You young man. You have a question? I think he forgot it. How about you, young man? Oh, 2 for 2. You. My favorite kind of MRE. Well, I'll let some of these other guys answer that. I didn't have to eat too many of them at all, so.
Chicken fajita.
Chicken fajita. They all came with chiclets and stuff too, so. Next question. On the map that we had for Vietnam, those airplanes and boats showed the military bases in Vietnam. So where the military was stationed during that time, so. When did I become a veteran? Yeah, basically the day I enlisted, I guess. So, when you take your oath, you got to take an oath when you join the military. That you promise to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic. So basically the day you joined up. So, yes. Favorite place to travel? I think I got to the East Coast, to Norfolk, Virginia, Newport, Rhode Island. I got down to Port Canaveral, Florida. I got to Bremerton, Washington, Long Beach, California, San Diego, California. I got to Hawaii. When I went to Afghanistan, we actually flew into Germany, and then we flew into Kuwait. We had a week of training in Kuwait, and then we flew on to Afghanistan. But I think Hawaii was the nicest. So you can get a little downtime there where you can kind of enjoy the island. So. Why did we have to go all those places? There's something they call orders. When you join the military, you get a set of orders, and basically they tell you where to go. Okay. So that's part of the deal. So for time-wise, folks, we got to start wrapping things up. I want to thank everybody. I've got a couple just final notes here. I want to thank the Patriots Pen winner Ellie Mae Martin here. We did forward her package onto the VFW District 7 judging team. And also we have 2 Teacher of the Year packages that we submitted this year. We submitted a package for Brenda Werner for kindergarten through 5th grade. And we submitted a package for June Wozni for middle school package to our VFW district team also. So the judging is, I believe it's this weekend is when they're going to do the judging, and we should find out in a couple weeks if they are district winners. And then if they are our district winners, they get forwarded to our state judging team. And that judging is done end of December. And by early January, we'd find out whether they were a state place winner. And then there's a national competition that they can get forwarded onto also. So congratulations, everybody, and good luck on your packages. So other than that, I think we've got to wrap it up today. I want to thank everybody for coming on in again today. Just a great program from the students. It's always a lot of fun this day. We've got 20 veterans from our VFW post here and stuff, and American Legion post here today. We've got a really good showing, and we've got to get to the elementary school. So thanks again, everybody. And the last thing, I've got some stuff for the St. John students for some flags, and the 2 slightly used globes, so that's for the school.
Thank you, Mr. Dalkey, and all of our veterans who joined us today. Thank you for coming, and have a wonderful Veterans Day.